Jamey Chadwell, who coached at North Greenville. Then he went away to be a head coach, but he had coached for 4 or 5 seasons at Charleston Southern, where my daughter went to college and graduated a few years ago. His bio is on the front page of today's program. He needs no further introduction. A man that's committed to signing more in-state players. He did sign 7 from this recent class. I bring you Jamey Chadwell, head coach, Charleston Southern University. Take it away, Jamey.
I need that right there? Yeah. Thank you very much. I like to walk and talk, and if I'm going to walk with this, I'll be doing this a lot, so I'm going to try to stand right here. It's tough getting everybody in here, huh? Did y'all hear him just ripping people? my first experience with it, but can I just tell you, and this is true, I'm so thankful to be back in South Carolina. We don't clap in our program when we do something good. We say hip hip hooray. So I'm gonna say hip hip. Y'all say what? Hooray. Hip hip. Hooray. All right, that's what we do. I was in the Delta, Mississippi for the last year. Anybody from Mississippi? Yeah, good. I won't have to talk slower then. All right. So. But I was in South Carolina for 8 years. I was at Charleston Southern for 5 years as an assistant coach. Went to North Greenville for 3 years as a head coach there up in the upstate. Just had a wonderful time. The Lord moved me to Cleveland, Mississippi, Delta State University, and it was a great experience. But it wasn't South Carolina. It wasn't home. The Lord opened the door for me to come back to a place that I love, that I got my master's from. That happened to be in Charleston, South Carolina, the #1 place in the country, just right down the road. And he opened that door, and it was great to come back. And how he showed favor with that, just a little quick testimony, is my wife was pregnant when we were going through this process. And our little girl was supposed to be born on Friday the 16th. That was January 16th. Well, the press conference for Charleston Southern was supposed to be Friday the 16th if I got that job. And so it was going to come down to the point to where if I was going to take her, I was going to be best off when she was born, because I wasn't going to miss it. She came early, thank the Lord. She came on a Sunday. I accepted the job on a Wednesday throughout Thursday. So I've got a 1-month-old girl I've seen for 3 days. 3 days. But and every time we've had a child, we've moved a job. So the people at Charleston Southern told me I can't have any more kids for a while. So y'all, you potential recruits, I'll be there for a while. All right, I'll be there for a while. But it's been a blessing to be back. Charleston Southern's a great place. South Carolina's a great place. He mentioned we were able to sign 7 young men in a short amount of time. We're so far behind recruiting this state. You high school coaches, y'all know that. It won't be any more. You're going to see us out and about this whole state this spring. You have my word on that. You can hold me. I won't be on TV or video here. You can hold my word to that. We don't clap. We go hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! How many people got a seat? No, I'm just kidding. How many people? All right. But we're going to make a commitment to this state because we feel strongly. It worked at North Greenville with success there. We feel strongly it's going to work down at Charleston Southern, and I'm thankful to be back here recruiting that. Best players, and for sure the best coaches, and I can say that because I've been at other places and glad to be back here. We'll talk with you a little bit. A lot of you going off to college. A lot of you now, there's freshmen here going to sophomores that are all state, juniors, all these different things. College coaches are going to talk to you about leadership. They're going to talk to you about leadership, and that's what my talk's going to be about today, is a little bit of leadership. But I'm going to tell you one thing that everybody asked me, because when I came down here and took this job, they asked me about recruiting, because that's why the people at Charleston wanted me to get down here so I wouldn't miss them recruiting. And I had to get a new coach in. And he goes, Coach, tell me what we're looking for recruiting. He said, I'm going to bring you this video. So he brought me a video, and he showed me this guy. He said, look at this. He said, he gets knocked down, but he gets up, gets knocked down, gets back up, and keeps chasing the guy. He said, is that the type of guy we need? I said, no, that's not it right now. He said, all right. He goes back, brings me another video. I said, Coach, I got you one. He said, what's this? He gets knocked down and gets back up, gets knocked down, gets back up, get knocked down again, got back up and went. I said, no, that's not what we're looking for. He goes, all right, one more. Brought me one more video, and he thought this was the guy. He said, Coach, he gets knocked down, back up, get knocked down, get backed up, gets knocked down again, backed up, got knocked down again, got back up, one more time, got back up and chased down the ball carrier. He said, is that the guy? I said, no, that's not it. He said, Coach, I'm perplexed. What do you want? I said, we want the guy that keeps knocking them down. So all of you guys are knocking them down, so hip, hip. Yeah, all right. So All right, right here. Martin Luther King says this on leadership. He says, a genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. My program, all programs across the country, high school programs, we're looking for leaders. And you have to develop leadership qualities. And what my short talk's going to be today, because I know everybody wants to get to the awards, you weren't here for me. I'm going to talk to you about 10 qualities that I think an effective leader should have. You're going to hear this as you're seniors, you're going in as freshmen, you're starting over. You're going in college, you're starting over. You're going from big man on campus to just another guy right now. And our coaches are going to be pushing you to become the best player you can be, but also to be a leader, do things right. High school juniors going in, the same thing. Coaches look for leaders. So here's 10 qualities of what I feel like you need to become a good leader. And I'll try to go quick, but pay attention. First one, you got to be a man of integrity. You got to be a man of integrity. You can't be a leader if you don't have integrity. What's integrity? We define that different ways. Here it is. 7 ways you define integrity in my book. Honesty. You got to be free from deception. Number 2, you got to be humble. You got to have a low ego. All right? That's hard for a lot of us, right? I can say that. Hip, hip. Hooray on that. You got to have a low ego. Third, you got to treat people with respect. Most importantly, you got to treat the ones with respect that can't help you get anywhere. How many of you know the janitor in your school's name? How many know you're the janitor? You know that coach or you know that guidance counselor is going to help you get to that college, but how many know that? That's respect. That's what good leaders do. You know the people that help you in all little ways. Fourth, courage. Follow your conscience, not the crowd. Now listen to me. Mom and Dad's not going to be there, or Grandma, your guardian's not going to be there when you go off. You're going to be around people that have different goals than you do and have more to lose than you have. You're going to follow that conscience or you're going to follow that crowd. And if you follow that crowd, you'll be back home. If you hear anything I say, don't follow the crowd. Blaze your own path. 5, you got to be patient. You got to show some self-control. Forgiveness. You got to let go of resentment. And the last of integrity, you got to be committed. You got to make that choice and you got to stick to it. So you got to be a man of integrity. That's quality number 1. Number 2, you got to have a quest for constant improvement. You got to constantly improve. There's an old saying, you get better, you get worse every day. I believe that. Every day. What are you doing this day to get better? Not what's this going to help me 2 years, what's it going to do to help me today? Quest for constant improvement. You got to find a better way. Athletically, you'll no doubt find a better way. Study habits. He's probably never done a study, but out of all these all-state people, he could probably tell me how many's actually made the NFL. Probably a very few number. What you going to fall back on? Improve daily in your academics. Football fail you. 2 things won't: the good Lord and education. Number 3, you got to be positive and you got to be enthusiastic. Right? Every day. A leader's got to be positive. I told when I took over North Greenville, we might have been the worst team in the country. We beat 2 teams, and I think we played them back to back, same team. We were back. And I was positive. I told our team, I'm for sure we're the worst team in the country. And I was positive about it. But you got to be positive, and you got to be enthusiastic. You got to have a sense of humor. All right? Got a sense of humor. That's what good leaders do. All right? Like Charleston, I told my guys right here, I'm going to love you. You know, we're going to love you. You got to be positive about it. You got to be positive when you're getting on. All right? Positive enthusiasm. Number 4, you got to become an expert. You got to become an expert in what you do as a leader. Obviously, you're trying to become an expert in your position. You got to become an expert in those academics as well. Be prepared, fundamentals and details. That's what they do. Number 5, you got to be poised. You got to be consistent, and you got to control your temper. It's the hardest thing to do. You got to be. All coaches are looking for is be consistent. I got everybody in here going to tell me they run 4-4. If you run 4-4, that's great. Run it. Just be consistent running. If you're 4-8, run 4-8. You know, football terms. If you're a 3.0 student, I'm not going to expect you to be 4.0, but I expect you to be 3.0. Be consistent in what you do. If you're consistent, you'll be successful. We're not looking for this. We're looking for that. That's what leaders need, consistent leadership. Number 6, you got to be demanding as a leader. You got to be demanding. 2 ways I believe is the best. Speak softly, carry a big stick. We don't need somebody yelling all the time. But when you speak, it means something. And 2, you got to hold people accountable. This is going to be your biggest challenge. It's going to be your biggest challenge. You're trying to lead your best friends. You're trying to tell your best friends that's not what's expected. That's not the standard that we have here. And you got to be able to stand up and say, even though that's your best friend, you grew up with him, you're his dorm mate, whatever. You got to tell him that's not what's expected. That's what leaders do. And that's the hardest thing for you guys to do, is tell somebody you care about they're not doing the right thing. And I tell our guys all the time, but if you love them, just like your parents, they got to tell you you're not doing the right thing, or your guardians, they love you, they'll know you care about them. That's the biggest adjustment you're going to have to learn, just because it's going to happen. It might already happen to some of them. But that's what leaders have to do. That's how they have to stand out. That's how they have to stand out. You want to be respected. Number 7, you got to be a self-starter. Don't allow somebody else to do your motivation. Leaders have to be highly motivated on their own. People should take you as the example. Be a self-starter. Be low maintenance, high output. Low maintenance, high output. Number 8, you've heard this, work ethic. You got to work. You got to work harder than anybody else on that football team. You got to work harder than anybody else in that classroom. You got a full-time job. That's what you do. Somebody obviously goes to college for a scholarship. It's full-time. You got to work hard for it. You got to have unbelievable work ethic. Leaders work harder than anybody on that team. Number 9, you got to be organized. If you're like me, if you're not, you hire somebody that is. All right? So that's what I did. That's what I did, because I'm not very organized. All right? But you have to be a leader. You got to know your weaknesses too. I know mine. So you got to be organized. And what I mean by that is study habits. You got to understand that I can't play Madden 13. I can't play college football on the, what's the new one? You can't play it. All right? You can't. You got to do your studying. Tell me. Trust me. If not, you'll be transferring, hopefully Charleston Southern, because your grades aren't very good. All right? Last thing. Number 10. You got to have a vision. You got to have a vision. I got a vision for Charleston Southern winning Big South championships, playing for national championships, graduating our players, being involved in community, having a wonderful program in the best city in the country and Christian environment. That's my vision. It's going to happen. I have that vision for our team, and the players I'm bringing in are going to buy into that vision. What's your vision as a young man? What's your vision as a leader? Most of you can say, I'm coach, I'm going to go to the NFL. Okay, good. How you going to get there? What happens if it don't work? You got to have that vision, and you got to write it down, and you got to seek it every day. You got to seek it every day. That's the 10 qualities. Last thing I'll close you with is God's given you, obviously, unbelievable ability to play this game and to be able to be recognized for being All-State. He gave you that. You've worked for it, but He gave you that natural ability to do that, and He's put you in places where coaches have helped you reach that potential. You have unbelievable influence that you don't realize. Unbelievable. People look up to athletes in general, but mostly football players. Mostly football players. I remember a guy that I looked up to when I was young. He didn't know it. I followed everything he did. Everything he did. He stopped drinking Coke. I stopped drinking Coke. I did, because I wanted to be like him, because he influenced me. What type of influencer are you? What type of influencer are you? Because you have that influence. And what are you doing with the position that God's put you in? Think about those things. You have a great opportunity to change this country in a great direction because of some of you can be on national TV playing, all these different things. But even not in national TV, in your small little community, wherever you're going to be, you have a chance to influence people. Make them follow you in the right way. Right way. Tim Tebow, everybody knows who he is. Before the national championship game, when they won the second national championship game, he used to wear underneath his eye, a man quoted right here, John 3:16. Well, excuse me, he used to wear Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ. That's what he wore all the time. The day of the national championship game, he led the running backs, Demps was his name, led the running backs to the Lord that day before they go play Oklahoma. It's a true story, before they play Oklahoma. He said God told him after that to change that eye black, change that name to John 3:16. His team's like, no, Coach, we're superstitious. He said, no, God's done. So he changed it to John 3:16. They went and won the national championship. Obviously, he played well. Google did a study. For 2 weeks after that national championship game, John 3:16 got Googled 90 million times. Now, well, I'm not Tim Tebow. No. Somebody influenced Tim Tebow. One of you out here might be the next guy that has that opportunity. There might be another Marcus Lattimore out here. We don't know. You don't know. God does. He's put you in that position. Use it to give Him glory. Hip, hip. Hooray. God bless y'all.